So is it possible that we've corrupted the word preacher to mean just a guy standing in the front? Because the word really means a messenger. So in essence, every one of us are preachers. Every one of us are supposed to be going into the area or the sphere of influence that the Holy Spirit leads us to do with a message. How often do we go to the grocery store and say, "What's the message today, Holy Spirit? There's someone in that grocery store waiting for me." And I bring it closer to home. There's probably someone sitting in the church when we get over there today that you have a word for. Don't know what that word would be. But can you imagine if a majority of the Christians started coming to church and going, "I've got a word for someone in church today." Whether it's encouragement, and they start using the gifts of the Bible. You know, someone's got the gift of encouragement, someone's got the gift of prophecy. Can you imagine the Holy Spirit starts prophesying through people and saying, "Do you know, God's telling me this about what's happening. God's telling me you're doing an awesome job." A word of knowledge. There's something, I don't know what this about this, that, or the other, and it we go back to the what was it? What is it, Jane?
What?
Blue.
What?
Jelly bean. Say jelly bean. Isn't it jelly bean?
Oh yeah, jelly bean. Yeah.
And we go back to the word of knowledge, or it just in the middle of whatever the Holy Spirit says jelly bean. I better say it. Mm-hmm. Don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean nothing to no one else in the room. But you stand up and say, "Excuse me, I just there's a word for someone, and I'm supposed to be saying jelly bean." Or you're in your one-on-one conversation, "Mary, I don't know what this is about, but I just feel I'm supposed to say jelly bean to you," and go back to the conversation. Somehow, some way, that person was struggling with their walk with God, if they knew God, or they didn't know God and they were struggling and going, "Lord, if no one today comes and says jelly bean out of the clear blue sky, I'm not going to believe in you and trust you anymore." It's how many times do we look at the Old Testament and the silliness that God used?
The donkey.
Talk to a donkey. Why ain't you moving? You don't see that angel? I'm not going past that angel. I'm trying to save your life. It's fascinating. Verse 15. "And how will they preach unless they are commissioned and sent for that purpose? Just as is written and forever remains written. How beautiful are the feet of those who bring the good news of good things." Isaiah 52:7. How beautiful are those who bring the message of the good news. But how will they preach unless they are commissioned and sent for that purpose? If we grasp that the Holy Spirit lives within us, and the Holy Spirit wants to do the same thing that Jesus did, we are sent somewhere every day. Whether we're sent through a phone, sent through a letter, not too many of those go on, an email, Facebook, sent to go to the grocery store. How many stories have you heard? I don't know why at 3 o'clock in the morning I just felt like I got to get up and get 5 gallons of gas and ride down this road, and then there's someone that ran out of gas. I've been praying because me and my child are starting to get cold, and I didn't know how I was going to keep them warm throughout the night. I just felt like God told me to come, bring 5 gallons of gas. Here you go.
Did that happen?
That happens. I've heard a dozen or so stories of that happening. And that's fascinating. Different versions of it. And they're broke down, and they had tow truck services, and they went through there.